Y'all know me. I laugh at everything.
You really do.
It's my only survival tactic.
That's why we're friends. You make me feel very funny. See? So easy. Low-hanging fruit. Life as a mom, entrepreneur, wife, friend, and human is a lot. Join me, Katie Jacobs.
And me, Brandy Chandler, every Thursday as we have unfiltered, hilarious, and relatable conversations about the ups, the downs, and the chaos of it all.
Pour a glass and pull up a seat.
Because you're always welcome at our table. Hi, Katie.
Hey, Brandy.
She did what?
She did commencement.
Don't even have anything to say. That was really good.
I know.
So this episode kind of willed itself into being. I saw a clip of Jerry Seinfeld's commencement speech. I was like, that seems good. So then we watched it. And we were like, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice. It wasn't overbearing. And then we got hit with a lot of other commencement speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Our phones were eavesdropping.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a couple of days later, this crazy guy showed up on
If
the
that
internet.
was not the universe, like, yep, go ahead and talk about commencement. And here's a little gift tied in a bow of this fucking moron.
So we said, yes, we will do this
We're
episode.
going to move forward with it.
So do you know what commencement means?
I do now. Tell the people.
What did I Webster it? It means to start. Did you know that?
I had never thought about it at all.
Well, I just always assumed it meant to like wrap something up because you did it at the end of your
Let's commence this
That's
meal.
not what it means at all. Isn't that? It blew my mind. I had no idea.
I never thought about it long enough to think about the origin of the word.
Yeah, I thought I might have just missed the memo, because sometimes you like think something is not, and you're the only person that didn't get it. I thought that was one of these. So that was very interesting.
It means to enter upon or begin.
Yeah. And that's not, I thought of it as an ending.
Well, it's sort of when you have a commencement speech, it's sort of like these are wise words to enter the world with.
Moving on.
Yes. This is also, I will say, one of my former employees posted she said she revisits this certain commencement speech, which I asked you if you wanted to incorporate. And we were like, the episode's going to take 2 hours if we do that. But another beautiful, so we can link to, if you all have suggestions for commencements, we can link those and add them to Instagram or wherever.
And a lot of them, people will turn into books.
Correct.
Ann Patchett turned hers into a book.
I don't think that's right because I could not find that commencement speech.
They took it offline because now she has the book. They want you to buy the book.
Oh, well, that's just rude.
I know. So that
Some of us
correct.
aren't smart enough to read. Thanks.
But it's a book.
Ann Patchett.
And then there's another one. I can't remember the man's name.
Yes.
Make Your Bed or something like that.
So that's the one.
Like that.
That's one I watched, and I suggested that back to my former employee. I was like, "Oh, I watched this one. He's an admiral, and he goes back to speak at Texas A&M, and his commencement is beautiful. We will link to that as well.
A lot of people like that one.
It's life lessons, and the first one, the Make Your Bed one, is make your bed in the morning because you'll wake up having accomplished one thing already. And if you've had a bad day, you get home. Done. And you get into a bed that's made.
I saw something on Instagram the other day that do you make your bed?
Every morning.
Me
it is the
too.
First thing I do.
And something on Instagram.
And I love to get into a made bed. Brandy, I love to put my feet into those little sheets that are all tucked in tight. Actually, don't use a sheet. I only use a comforter. But I like to put my feet into that nice folded comforter. It just feels luxurious.
I cannot function if my bed's not made. But on Instagram the other day, it said you're more likely.
And
will you let me say? It said you're more likely to become a millionaire, like extreme odds, if you make your bed every day.
Okay, so I should make my bed twice.
I'm like, hello, I've been making it for 40-something years now.
Damn it.
I think
Still waiting on these millions.
I think that wasn't factual. Anyway, well, and so this commencement thing started, and we've found a lot of really good commencement speeches, but I have never witnessed one in person. Have you?
The best. So my commencement speeches sucked.
I don't even remember them. They were so bad.
JJ had, and I remembered this morning, Alton Brown from the Food Network was his commencement speaker from the University of Georgia. He graduated late because he got drafted and played baseball and then came back to get his math degree. And Alton Brown was his commencement speaker, and he was great. He was a great speaker.
I've not experienced one in person.
Did you not go to your College of Charleston graduation?
No, I did, but I don't even remember it. It was that unremarkable.
Or you were that hammered.
No, I wasn't. It was a morning graduation.
It's Charleston.
Anyway, so I'm pretty impressed of the quality of some of these. But I thought Jerry Seinfeld's, because he's my best friend, I can call him Jerry, was just so nice because he wasn't preachy. He wasn't trying to be over the top funny. It really just seemed like a genuine, this is some stuff I've observed and that's worked.
Right. Well, I think that's what makes a commencement great. It's like, here's wisdom, wiser than me, hard fought, hard won wisdom that I can impart on you.
But also, so going back to, I've never experienced a great commencement speech in person. I don't need a commencement speech when I'm 21. I need it right now when I'm 40.
Yeah. I need it. Can we have a midlife every morning?
Can we have a midlife? Because when you're 21, you're not really paying much attention to these things.
I think you are.
I was not.
Oh, okay.
We already know this.
I think you are. But also I think the younger generations we've witnessed are a lot more thoughtful than we were.
True.
Or than you were.
Yeah. But like, we totally need like a 40-year-old commencement ceremony.
We do. That would be so fun.
Live event!
Same brain.
I'm so excited.
Let's get a commencement speaker. How fun would that be?
I'm so excited. We can call it commencement. It's going to be lit.
I want to talk about Jerry Seinfeld. So as a comedian, he is someone I am obsessed with. I've watched every episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
I love everything.
That show is brilliant.
B-movie?
I never saw the B-movie.
Let your kids watch it this weekend. It's hilarious.
Okay. I don't love animated movies, but okay.
It's a funny one. It's one parents can stand.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It's got all those parent jokes hidden in there.
I love those movies. Comedians in Cars is him taking different comedians for a ride in a car to go get a coffee and talking about their lives and their craft.
It's almost like a Wiser Than Me.
It's very much. Yeah. And there are some episodes that are absolutely hilarious. Sometimes the car breaks down. He's obsessed with vintage cars. So he finds some vintage car that fits the comedian's personality. They get in the car, they go for a drive.
It's so great.
It is so great. And like when they're not talking and awkward, he'll film that too. It's so funny.
Real life.
But he talks a lot, and I think Jerry Seinfeld is brilliant because he talks a lot about honing a craft and what that takes. And I think it's made him, his outlook, maybe he's a pessimist, but he's a realist, I think.
Yeah, I think
he doesn't suffer fools, which I appreciate and love. And he really doesn't suffer fools. And he is just so honest about the way the world is in a way that's not overtly negative, or it's just like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
He does this bit on, why do we all want to leave the house? You leave the house and you can't wait to get home. And it's like, and he kind of incorporated it into commencement, I actually noticed. Or was that, I watched him in Kevin Hart's Mark Twain Prize. I'm on a bit of a Seinfeld kick right now. But anyway.
I've loved Seinfeld for so long. Have you? Did you always love it?
We watched it as a family.
I remember, like in middle school watching it.
Elaine Bennis is everything.
Kramer.
I mean, she was one of the first females on a sitcom that felt like
real.
She was standing her own. She didn't need a troop of women.
She was the
only female. I'm kind of in an Elaine Bennis.
Yeah,
today.
but you're not trying. But like so many people go on TV and it's not their personality. She was
the female in a group of males and had no one standing with her. And I think that in and of itself as a woman is impressive at that time specifically.
I love her too.
I know. We love Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So he says, most things do not work. Most things are not good.
I mean, Jerry, bring in the wisdom.
I saw this morning, Prime is full of chemicals. Something like it. There's like a class action lawsuit against Prime.
But that is true of life.
Like water's good.
But you get so bummed out at the rejections and the things that aren't working. But that's the majority of life. So if you don't like get your mind right, you're just going to live bummed out.
You're going to live bummed out. And I think a lot of people are living bummed out. And I think a lot of people are depressed. Yes, but like at a very young age, because they're realizing life is not sugar plums and lollipops, and a fairy is not going to come wipe your ass.
And also, like, most things do not work. We're trying this podcast.
Yes.
Could work, not work.
Yeah.
Are we going to
most things fail,
lose our identities if it does not work?
Yes, we are. So keep listening.
But like, you've got to be prepared.
I will go into a dark hole.
You've got to try something, even if it might not work. You know, you've got to just put yourself out there.
You have to invest and burn the boats. Yeah. Like, I'm a big burn the boats person. If I'm going to do something, I'm burning the boats. I'm not going to give myself exactly. I'm not going to give myself a contingency plan and out. It's like I am going to put my whole. I'm not going to half-ass it. I'm going to put my whole ass into it. The whole kit and caboodle. Pun intended.
He says, fashion.
Is it a kitten caboodle or is it a kit and caboodle?
I think kit. I don't think kittens are involved.
Okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, then my pun might not make sense.
Okay. He also says fascination is way better than passion.
I loved this so much.
Yeah. And he does this really well. He's like throwing his arms up. So good. We're going to link to these so you can watch them for yourselves. And they're not long. Jerry's is only like 17 minutes. So
we all talk about our passion. Our passion.
That it's only like, we are passionate about.
Right. Fascination.
Yeah. And I love that because if you're fascinated with something, you're just in love with it and you're going to try to find out everything about it.
It also implies curiosity.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yes,
it also implies curiosity.
That's great. And it's way better than just passion. You can get over in over your head.
Yeah, you can. 7-year itch.
Children. That passion took us away, and then we have that third child.
Champagne. Pops a third kid.
All right.
3. He talks about 3 keys to life: bust your ass, pay attention, and fall in love.
Fall in love, not with a person. I think that's included, but that's not exclusively what he's talking about. Fall in love every day, all day, with little details of your life.
I love this so much because I think we are hit over the head with these grandiose ideas and themes of big vacations and big adventures and spending on big things. And, you know, it's a maximalist, consumerist sort of ideology because it sells. And I think what people forget is you're being sold to all the time in all places. And if you remember to fall in love with having a cup of coffee with your spouse in the morning before the dawn, or snuggling with your kids. Like last night, all of my kids got in the bed with me. JJ announces Georgia baseball games and the game ran late. And I was like, they all were like, Mom, you want to keep watching the game. And I was like, everyone brush your teeth, get your jammies on at the commercial break. Let's get in my bed. And we all had this snuggle. And it's like, I love that so deeply in my soul. It is a soul feeding small thing that I love so much. And those are the moments to fall in love with.
And that's what keeps you going. So yeah.
I love that. But
pay
fall in love
attention
with
to things you can fall in love with.
Fall in love with your shoes that you put on in the morning, or your conversation with your friend. You know,
this conversation. I'm really into it right now.
Stop trying to make out with me. We're embarrassed about things we should be proud of, and proud of things we should be embarrassed about. Do you remember what that was in regards to?
Privilege.
He talks about privilege in a really funny way too, which
he
I
talks
love.
about privilege in a way very few people I have heard talk about privilege.
I think so everyone has taken these words and given them such surrounded them with such hatred. And words are important.
And divisiveness.
And divisiveness.
Like when people are talking about privilege now, it's like the privileged and the not privileged. And if you're privileged, you're bad.
Sure.
And if you're not privileged, sometimes that came out as bad too. You know? It's just so divisive when people
I know. So JJ's opponent said that we had gone and begged our well-to-do friends all over the country for money, for donations, which is hilarious. But can
they sponsor the podcast as well?
That person? No,
all your friends that are just giving out money.
I know. But I started thinking about all of our friends who called us and said, I want to donate. What's the link? And they are wildly successful people that have worked their asses off. I mean, when I tell you the work these people have done, the hours that they have put into waking up early and building their lives and doing the right thing and being good parents and people and community members. And for you to discourage that, it's like discourage me all day long, but don't discourage my family and don't discourage my hardworking friends.
Yeah.
And that really just, oh my gosh, it just hit me so hard. It's like they are privileged because they have worked for it really, really hard. And the people that I met that she specifically called out were people that I have known that threw me baby showers and like it just anyway. So that word and he kind of takes it back a little bit, he
just strikes the perfect chord. I think he
says it in a way no one else could say it.
Yes, he did a very good job of giving people permission to be proud of themselves for being at Duke University. That's what the privilege was.
Right.
You know, all the students at Duke were privileged to go to Duke, and they should not be embarrassed about that. They should be proud because they did work to get there and to survive Duke and to graduate from Duke.
Right.
I mean, no one's handing these degrees out except to Jerry. He got an honorary
Right,
degree.
he did. And he jokes about that in a hilarious way. I remember when I started Cheeky, this rang a chord for me because I was really embarrassed. I started with nothing. I bought a few fixtures from oh my God, it's Big Lots. From Big Lots. And
I love Big Lots.
I had like 5 styles on the wall and I had to get a loan to do it. And I remember I felt so ashamed. I had never managed a retail store. I felt so ashamed about all of this. And when people would ask me, I would kind of like gloss over it or change the subject. Like I didn't want to talk about it because I was embarrassed. Yeah. Now I'm so proud of that.
We all have to start somewhere.
And I'm proud of that now. And I'm proud that I did it not having any idea what I was doing, just a lot of gumption, some stupidity, but a lot of gumption and a lot of guts and just working my ass off. And I'm really proud of that now. So when he said that we're embarrassed about the things we should be proud of and proud of the things we should be embarrassed about, the switch in that narrative rang true for me.
Yeah.
And I would be curious for our listeners how that rings for them.
I think he approached that so well. And in regards to the next speech we're going to talk about, they did not approach it well.
I know. Stop rushing what you perceive is a valuable endpoint. That's really about enjoying the journey. Those of you who think you know what you want are very likely wrong. What did we want at 19 or 20?
I loved that. I mean, I still don't know if I'm wanting the right things.
I think it's a constant questioning. It's why we started the podcast. We were asking questions we knew we were asking at 20. And we said, this is going to ring true for a lot of women.
Yeah.
Let's ask them in front of hundreds and thousands and potentially hundreds of thousands of people. Hopefully. Tell your friends to listen to the podcast. So what did you want to be at 19, 20 and how that's changed and evolved? I guarantee you most of our listeners, what they wanted at 19 and 20 has completely changed. When I was 20, I wanted to live in New York, never get married, have a big career, maybe have kids, maybe not. By 24, I was married. By 30, I had my first. Built a business in a small town. Things change. Go with the next one. I'm talking too much. These people don't want to hear my voice this much.
Worker bee is the highest compliment. I love that because I think there's so much value in just doing the work. You don't always have to be the star.
I was hiking Pikes Peak with my girlfriends. Was it last summer or last summer. And there's this tram. It's called America's Mountain. And we were joking because I said it's America's Mountain because there's a fucking tram to the top.
We can all get there.
We can all get there, right? But my girlfriends and I were hiking. And it's like you can take the tram to the top and say you got to the top.
Yeah.
Or you can do the work and hike to the top. Whose version of Pikes Peak do you think
is getting the most value?
Who's getting the most value? It's the person who's sweating and then stops hiking and is freezing and is hungry. And it's not the person who ate some McDonald's on the tram and ended up at the top to take a photo for Instagram.
So that's fun too.
Okay.
When you have kids, you get on the tram.
I can't stand. I saw a guy smoking on a hike one time, like with a McDonald's cup in his hand. And I was like, I'm going to turn around and find a different hike. I call them McDonald's hikes now.
He goes on to talk about creating a more just and inclusive society and has that tempered out humor.
I saw something this morning on this as well, that we have overused words like privilege and a lot of other words so much that they have lost their meaning. And then when there is someone who comes along that is a homophobic, racist, privileged asshole like Harrison Butker, you don't have the words because they've been overused, right?
And you can't say anything, even in a joke, without it just being the most offensive thing to someone.
I think that's changing.
And it's so hard.
I think we're recalibrating that.
I hope so. Because I'm just scared I'm going to accidentally offend someone.
I am so terrified of saying the wrong thing. And I think we've experienced it even recording the podcast. We're so scared to say the wrong thing, even if it's wrong and we have to apologize or whatever. It's a learning experience, but we're so scared to say the wrong thing. I think sometimes that we self-edit to the point where we lose words. We're no longer having conversations.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with someone through the course of my husband's campaign, and I looked at her and I said, I might be saying the wrong thing and I apologize. Correct me. But this is what I think about. It was specific to like literacy and education. And we had a wonderful conversation. And she's like, you're getting it right, but you're also getting it a little wrong. Mm-hmm. And it was open and beautiful and loving. And that's where people really live.
Well, and you don't learn until you converse and listen at the same time. And, you know, just figure out the dialogue there.
We kind of talked about that. Not enough of life makes sense for you to be able to survive it without humor. You have to laugh.
That's what we were going to do this episode on. That's how this started before we got all this other stuff thrown at us. And I think that's so important. I mean, y'all know me. I laugh at everything.
You really do.
It's my only survival tactic.
That's why we're friends. You make me feel very funny. See? So easy. Low-hanging fruit.
But I love it. I mean, if you can't, I can laugh at myself. That's where this episode was originally going. Embarrassing moments. We might do a short on our embarrassing moments. I asked
Why did both of our embarrassing moments include farting?
Because it's so funny.
So funny. Okay.
We should do a short on the, because I asked my friends, I was like, am I forgetting anything? And they gave it to me.
Oh. Okay. Did you do that on your girls' weekend?
No,
they were like, hang on.
I texted one of my oldest friends, Todd, that lives in Austin, and he said,
Todd, your friend
a list
that we were worried about, who's great. Okay.
That's my significantly older.
People died over that, by the way. They were all concerned for you. Your significantly older friend that you met in high school.
And there's one story we can't quite remember what got me laughing. So I was laughing at a story someone was telling. Then I choked on a noodle, farted, and peed my pants. This was when I was in college. I wasn't even old yet. I hadn't had children. It was that funny. But we can't remember what the story was.
That's called a hat trick, Brandy. Congratulations. You hit for the cycle.
And let's get back on point.
Money messes people up, want the coolest job.
I loved that too.
I loved it so much.
I get obsessed with money lately because we've changed careers. So it's been a big topic.
Well, you also have 3 kids and you got to pay bills. It's a little different than at 20 or 25, younger in life, maybe without children.
But still, I just want to have a cool job like this.
Congratulations.
I'm there.
You're there. You've made it, friend.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's great advice to people starting their careers as well.
I did not ever think my retail store would ever have been what it became.
Oh, good.
I just wanted this cute little place. Cool. I loved the idea of this community place, and I thought it would be a really cool thing to do. And look where we are now.
And look at how that turned out for you.
Don't think about having, think about becoming.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it goes back to, I think, just, what I love to wax on is like, just how all people want is the grass on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
And that grass is not always greener. Have I been holding that up the whole time? Sorry, YouTubers.
Okay.
All right. So go listen to Jerry because he has really so much to say. And then go listen to...
And his speech is great for any walk of life. I mean...
I know. I meant to have JJ listen to it this morning.
Yeah, it is just... a fun little listen. It's uplifting.
It's fast.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
So in the process of us working literally on this episode, this Harrison Butker, what a great name for him, by the way.
He's got it built right in. So, I mean, everyone is throwing commentary on this right now. It's probably the hottest thing on Instagram today.
It is.
And rightly so. And Jenna Bush, I saw she said on the Today Show, did we not learn anything from America Ferrera's Barbie monologue?
Jenna
and I was like,
is obviously a listener.
She is. I think she listened. We're going to tag her.
We need Jenna Bush. Wait, is the algorithm Jenna Bush, Jenna Bush, Jenna Bush?
Hager, Jenna Bush, Hager.
Hager.
I was like, that's it. You nailed it on the head. Did we not learn anything?
I don't even know where to start or end.
Here, I know what to think. We all know and think and want to acknowledge the sacredness of motherhood. We all agree on that point. But the way he said it...
It's a point that goes without saying.
The way he said it just divided the world. You know, it was like, if you're not doing this, you're bad. If you're not doing... You know, he was just so divisive. And did no one read the speech for him before he said it?
I'm like, surely his wife did not say, great job, babe.
And
you know they're going to be divorced within 5 years.
His mom is like a physicist at Emory down the road.
I don't want to say, that's mean to say, but all I could think was they're going to be divorced within 5 years.
I don't know.
No woman can put up with a man like that for longer than 5 minutes. We need to do an episode on like the different types of moms.
Yeah, because he's definitely dividing the stay-at-home moms, the working moms. He
and guess
put
what?
A big
every mom,
in between.
Whether you're stay-at-home or working, is a working mom.
Yeah, and
because that job, neither job ever ends.
It takes all of them to make the world go round.
Yes.
We've talked about this. We need the really good room moms because I'm not it.
Exactly.
I need somebody to pick up that slack.
1,000,000%. Here's the problem, I think, with what he said fundamentally is that it's an antiquated notion that put women in a position where they felt less than. And I don't think any woman in 2024 that believes that we deserve equality can co-sign that speech.
Well, and even
to say you are reborn the moment, or when you meet, what did he say? When you meet your husband, that's when you are born. That is so disgusting to me.
I just, who let him say
it's,
this?
It's not even disgusting. Yeah, he doesn't even deserve that. It is so moronic.
And for a man to be saying this, it would be bad if a woman said it. But the fact that a man got up there and said these things, I don't know. Poor guy. And everybody keeps posting on Instagram all these reels of him sliding and falling.
I know, it's so funny. This guy it's not going to go well for him.
Poor thing.
Bless his, you know what we say in the South? Bless his heart.
Bless his little heart.
Bless his dumb.
That was pitiful.
Dumb heart.
Hey baddies, we wanted to give a shout out to all of our sponsors so far. We love them, you love them, and they really are the best. So here's to On Trend Creative Studio, Golden Pantry Convenience Stores, Christian Roofing and Remodeling, LT Swimwear, Periander Studio, and Ritual Spa. I believe all their discount codes are still active, so be sure to visit them online or in person as soon as possible. Links are in the show notes. Our content is evergreen and draws new listeners every day. Your ad in our podcast will forever live in the episode and the show notes for that episode. What a deal. If you want to join this wonderful gang of people and sponsor an episode, reach out to us. info@shedidwhatpodcast.com. We'd love to chat with you.
I feel so, honestly, I always think about this. I feel so bad for his mother.
Well, she's an accomplished woman.
Very accomplished.
She's got a great career going there.
This poor woman. What would you do if that was your son? What would you do?
Sit down and have a little chat.
I have, when we were talking about this, when it came out and you and I started texting about it, all I could think was, what if one of my sons goes out in the world and says some dumb shit like this? What is that dinner table conversation?
Does he have daughters?
I don't know. I hope not.
Oh,
I hope he doesn't. Oh, him as a parent.
Bless his wife's heart.
Bless her heart. God love her.
That's bad.
I'd be moving out. I'd have the U-Haul before the end of that speech pulling up to my house.
That didn't go so well, bud.
All right, let's leave him in the dust where he belongs. And let's talk about our commencements. So I posed the question, what would you say to young folks going out into the world, putting on those boots and strapping them up?
So I love this. And this actually popped up in my feed a lot this week too, which was weird when we were looking at all this commencement stuff. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Because that's hard. It's hard to make listening your number one priority and not talking and getting angry. And that's from a Bible verse. And I was like, that's really good advice because I think listening is so important. To learn about other people, to empathize with other people. And just, I don't know. I just feel like we talk way too much as I have a career talking. And not listening. There's a lot to talk about. But
cut
there's
you off 15 times at the top of this podcast.
There's
and I'm cutting
definitely
you off right
so much value in listening. I just think it's really there. So that advice I think is steadfast, true, so important. And find the humor. I mean, I cannot survive without humor. I highly recommend it to everyone. Just have a good laugh. It literally heals your body.
It does. And even what you said in the complex moments of life, I loved that you added that because you can be in a really bad situation and find a little bit of humor and it will lighten any mood.
And you know what I like to do is when I'm having a problem with something, like say, I don't know, I don't like my job. And then you watch all these funny reels on Instagram about people that hate their jobs, but they're making it funny. And then I feel so much better.
It's so true. I remember my friend Mindy had cancer and she passed away when we were living in Brooklyn for the summer. And I think I've spoken about it. We didn't have we had an air mattress. We had no furniture, no AC, no television, nothing. So we got down and dirty a lot. So anyway, Mindy,
you've mentioned.
I know, I'm sorry. So we were JJ had played a baseball game. I'd found out about Mindy, I think during the game about her passing. And we were on the way home and I was crying and we were talking about it. We got home. I was still crying. And then, we started getting busy. And all of a sudden we heard.
Naturally.
And then all of a sudden the door to our apartment, 4 feet, around the corner, slammed. And we were like, what? JJ jumps up because we were in a basement. And because we didn't have AC, our little windows looked at the driveway. There were these little tilted windows. So he jumps up and runs to the door. Nothing. It's still locked. And I'm like, and Mindy was funny. Mindy was a New Yorker.
Mindy was watching.
Mindy had the best sense of humor. She was so funny. You would have loved her.
She just wanted to see JJ jump up naked and run across the house.
And we died laughing. We just died laughing because I was like, okay, Mindy, I love you too.
She was enjoying it with you, Katie.
She would have interrupted and just been like, bitch, are you not sad? Slam this door. So anyway, so I remember that specific, I don't know why that just popped in my head. I haven't thought about that in so many years, but and we just died laughing and I was crying and laughing and I was like, I love you, Mindy.
It's the best. The laughter through tears.
Yeah.
Where's that from? Steel Magnolias. It's
I think
best.
so.
It's my favorite emotion.
Oh, and that's one of my favorite movies. What else do you have for us here?
That's it. That's all I got.
That was great.
What is your commencement speech, Katie? Would you like to give it right now?
I know you're like, be quiet.
I should have brought you garb to wear.
We should have worn garb. Damn it. Missed opportunity. Be curious. Be curious about the world, differing opinions, religions, love, friendship, food. Be curious about what you're able to do, your physical and mental fortitude. I think as I get older, my physical capability, I'm much more curious about. What is my body able to do? Am I able to run a half marathon? Am I able to?
Well, you made 3 humans, so.
Well,
I think you're good.
It makes me work here. I don't know. Am I?
I think you could do anything.
And I also just think our physical health has never been more important because I want to see my kids and their kids' kids and maybe even my kids' kids' kids. So, and then just be curious about your limits in order to understand them better. What is the limit of this? I think people don't want to be uncomfortable or experience discomfort. And I'm really curious about discomfort because I've always found a lot of growth in it. And I've always found that exploring the boundaries of discomfort can really create a beautiful breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say just be curious.
I love it.
That's all I've got. It's not that brilliant.
That's great. We like a concise commencement speech here.
We do. All right. Go listen to Jerry's. Don't listen to Harrison's if you were able to avoid it. Although I don't think if you
don't listen to Harrison's, we'll link some of the other ones. I'll link Ann Patchett's book. It's really good. I've read it.
I'm just upset that I don't get to watch it. That
well, it's like
off.
A little
but it's just rude. Why would you take it off the internet?
To make money.
That's kind of selfish.
Okay. Well, I would like
Speaking
to
of,
make money,
we are looking for sponsors. No, I'm just kidding.
Speaking of, if you would like to turn this podcast into a book, we will take it off there.
Wouldn't that be funny? Can you imagine our book? It would be like writing just off a page.
There went that thought. So yeah, it was a fun time. I'm glad we have discovered some good commencement speeches because I've not had one of those in person.
I feel like just like every 4th of July, I listened to Whitney Houston's rendition of the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh,
should you?
Look at you.
Every May, I think I'm going to listen to. Who knew?
Well, we are going to have a commencement.
We are going to have a commencement at our live event that is yet to be determined.
We are
willing into existence. Let's get curious about it.
Curiosity.
And stop talking. And be slower to speak and quicker to listen.
Fascinated. Let's be fascinated.
Let's be fascinated.
I love that.
I am.
Word.
I'm fascinated with a live event.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating. We hope you all are having a great month, week, whenever this will post or publish. Who knows?
We don't know anything. No, I think this was fun. Let us know if you have any commencement speeches that we need to listen to.
Yes.
Or any wise words of wisdom. Like, follow, subscribe.
All the things. Rate us well, preferably.
We would love some Apple reviews.
Yes.
Those are wonderful. And the algorithms.
Wonderful. Yes, that does. It helps us.
We love you guys. Leave us all your comments.
We love
Tell
you
us
so
all
much.
your things.
We hope you're having a great one. Thanks for listening.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you enjoyed our conversation and can't wait to share another episode with you next Thursday.
Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. To keep up with the latest, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Podcast She Did What. We'll be sharing updates, behind the scenes, and announcements you won't want to miss.
And if there's anything you'd like to share with us, whether it be a personal story or feedback on our episodes, you can leave us a voicemail at 762-499-2201 or head over to our website, shedidwhatpodcast.com. Also, feel free to leave us a review down below. We'd love to know what you think.
She Did What is hosted by us, Brandy Chandler and Katie Jacobs, and produced by Studio D Podcast Production.
Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next Thursday. And remember, it isn't always easy, but it sure as hell can be entertaining.